What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And as you've seen in the last video, we went ahead and got started on our epoxy process for our built LS block. It's all hardened up and we're getting ready to clean the sugar out of the block and go ahead and drill our holes for our coolant passages. So appreciate y'all guys tuning in. Let's go ahead and get into the action. We're going to go ahead and drill these holes in this thing. Once we get the holes drilled, then we're going to put our hose in here, flush all that sugar out of there. Now what you're going to want to do is crack open your new head gasket, and we're going to lay that on top of our block, and that'll give us our template for our coolant jackets. By the way, getting out of the gasket from it. You're gonna hit it the right way, just like that. And what you're going to do is you're going to go around to all these around the outside of your cylinders. Mark those with a marker, and we're going to get some holes drilled in them. Alright, now that we've got all that taken care of, the next thing we want to do is go ahead and put our main bearings in and our thrust washers. Then we can go ahead and get this crankshaft set down inside the block. You're going to have different ones now. You're going to have the ones that set in the block and the ones that go on your actual crank caps. Keep that in mind. They're going to have the groove in them like this, and they're going to have your notch right here, which will go in the spot here. Make sure your surfaces are nice and clean and dry. You do not want to lube these because you don't want them to spin. You want them to stay in place. So grab all our ones that have notches in them. Notch in there. Push out the thumbs. Push nice and flat. Go to the next one. Same thing. Drop it in there. There we go. One's going to go there. Like that. I'm going to put just a dab of grease on it to keep it in place. One for the other side as well. Just like that. Now we want to take, and this is where our lube's going to go, here. Before we set our crank in there. Bless you. Yeah. Oh, it down real good. Okay. Now we're ready to start cranking. Here, get all these stars. So these main caps will be numbered. Make sure you get the right ones. 2. Here's 5. Start with 5. So you turn it nice and clean, get the bearings in there. Make sure you don't spin one of those. Alright, now take one of the bearings here. Got a groove in the center. Okay. Put it down, just like that. That's number 5. Got a little bit of assembly on it. And arrows will place your time cover. So let's get a little bit of lube on the bolts as well. You want to get these down dry. Alright, so we got number 2. There's 3. This will be a big one in the middle. Just take 2 longer bolts out of the studs. You can have the bolts you have. If you nail these studs. There. Get some fresh bearing. Line groove up. Push close. Alright, we got our crank in there. We've got our bolts snugged up. You want to make sure, start with your center and work your way out just like you would head studs or anything else like that. So now we're going to go ahead and grab our torque wrench. We have 2 steps here that we're going to take. We'll get this thing and rods in it. Alright, now before we put these pistons and rods in the block, we need to gap our piston rings. I hadn't done my top ones already. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the process on the second one, so the same as the first. But in order to measure these, you're going to want to put your rings in the cylinder. I like to go about halfway down. And the gap that you have in between your ends of your piston ring there, you're going to use a feeler gauge. And you're going to want that to be where specified for your particular setup. Now, different manufacturers have different formulas that you can use to come up with those numbers. I happen to be using the Wiseco's ones, and I'm actually not setting to exactly what they say, but more or less what I've always used and had good luck with, which is right around 19 on the top ones, 19-20 on the top, and about 22 on the second ones. So I'll go ahead and show you guys the process on how I do that, and then we'll be ready to drop these pistons in. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our rings, put them down in our cylinder, like so. Make sure they're even. It's hard to see in here. I got them. Now I'll go ahead and grab our feeler gauges here. So we're going to find a 22. I'm going to stick this in here. So these are already exactly what they should be. See, those slides in there nice and easy. Let's go to our second one. Is that even? Where do you be? That's a whole lot. Let's work for me. Perfect. And the last one. Okay, we're good to go. So now we get these rings installed on distance, so you guys do that as well. Alright. Now you always want to start with your oil rings first. They're on the bottom. Here's what you want to do first. Go ahead and get us some lube here. rings, you want to make sure that you clock these about 90 degrees away from one another. So we're going to go with our bottom ring first. And they do make a tool for this. So if you feel more comfortable using the tool, do so. I've just always done it this way. And had pretty good luck. Come on, the actual ring itself. That's going to go next. This one will go on the bottom of this ring. So we'll slide that right there, all the way around. Just like so. That's giving me a hard time. I'll go ahead and get the rest of these rings on these other pistons. And then I will bring you guys back and we'll get the pistons in the block. Now I know that I've showed you guys this process about 6 or 7 different times now, so I'm just going to show you on one piston real quick. I'm going to show you how to put your rod bearings in the rod and then how to get our piston into the block. Like I said, I'm just going to show you on one because if you guys have been following my channel, you've seen this process like 4 or 5 times. So what you want to do, make sure your surfaces are nice and clean on your cap and your rod, and then you're just going to slide your bearing right in just like you would on your main bearings. So I'll go ahead and pop them in and then we'll drop it into the cylinder. Now we want to make sure you get some lube on the end of your rod there. Now your notch part of the rod is going to face your exhaust side. This is where your little lip's at. And always remember, your biggest valve reliefs are for your intake, so those are going to face your intake. So we've got our little thing back here, intake towards the back. Drop those in like so, set them on there. That's all the way down. And we're going to try to give it one more little crank here. Nope, no more cranks. Should be able to push it right down in there. There we go. Yep, we're on our crank. Just like so. It's very important to make sure you put these caps on the right way. You don't want to put them on backwards. Just like that. Alright, we got them first two torqued down. Let's go ahead and get these other two pistons dropped in here and we'll get them torqued down. And that is a wrap for our progress today. So we have a complete rotating assembly. Rods and pistons are in. Now in order to go any further, we're going to have to go ahead and get the current engine out of the car so we can go ahead and get all the accessories, hoses, fittings, all that shit onto this block and get it in the car. Today is Saturday, so hoping by Monday evening to have it in the car and tuning on it. That way we can get it down to Eric. We've got a dyno set for the 9th, so stay tuned for that as well. As always, appreciate y'all guys tuning in. We'll see y'all on the next one.